Hey folks, it's Rob, and this is a very special bonus episode because I bought this recently. And you probably can't see it too well, but it's actually quite grubby. And right here, we have this black mark of unknown type, but it's kind of, I don't know, granular. But there's also like some over here, right? And the whole thing is just covered in a certain level of dirt. And I'm gonna try to restore it some, but before I begin, like trying to put, try to crush the box back into shape by just kind of putting a warm, heavy thing inside here that fits reasonably well, and trying to, just clear out this like indent. I mean, you can see here, the box has not had an easy life, but this happens to these kind of boxes. They're not that robust, but the books are in good shape. Look at that. And hey, surprise bonus, the RPGA flyer. uh, this set did not come with dice. There was no real need for you to get more dice when you were on the fifth set in, right? But you can see again, kind of crushed, right? It's had a hard life somewhere, and it's now mine. And so I'm going to take the innards and set them aside. And I'm going to take the bottom and set it aside for the moment too, because I'm going to start on the front. And I have here a little shot glass of warm water. This is my little graduated glass I use for like cleaning brushes sometimes. And I have here a damp, warm cloth, which I very heavily wrung out to just get started. And I have some paper towel to kind of dry it off after I've kind of worked on it. And I was going to use a Q-tip on the particular area, which is, I guess, where we should start, really. So, my plan was to do, just kind of this, and just kind of get in here and see how this goes, right? I don't want to cause any further damage to the product, but I do want to just kind of get this gunk off. And you can see it's just black. I don't know what this is, and I don't know if I want to know what this is, but I want it off the box, right? It's like someone set off you remember those like lighted capsule snake things you get for crappy fireworks when you were like, a child, if you're of my age? Yeah, I'm gonna need more. Fortunately, I have more. So just kind of roll it over it, maybe. Yeah, so there's like, crappy little carbon disc snakes that you used to get, and you still can get, I imagine. Uh, I mean, the best snake in the world is no firework, really. But sometimes they could be kind of neat. Uh, that was a little laden. I may have to mop that up, but uh, someone did not take care of this box too well. But at the same time, I can't be too harsh because it's not like I know for a fact people just discarded these boxes as a matter of course for space, even if they weren't necessarily heavily damaged. And that's going to be. Let's move on to another clean one. So, I did quite well to get this off of a listing. I have been looking for a copy I was willing to pay for in my price range for approximately 2 years now. Ever since I'm like, you know what, I do want to fill out the set. I I lucked my way practically into uh, read well basically the expert, the basic expert and companion sets, and I managed to go track down a master set recently, but it's nice and clean and it's on the shelf over there. But this is the last piece I needed for the main line, and they come and go off of like Noble Knight games, and you can generally find the books a lot easier because, the books are more robust. The books contain the information. The box is just a container. People just would a box like this, they go, "Oh, let's throw this out." Right? And I can totally see it, but at the same time, no one's making any more of these. No one's making any more of these. These are collectible amongst this community. And they are just going to get more so over time because, again, these are not very durable boxes. They don't put up with a lot of punishment. And this is the least sold. I don't know what the printing figures are for this edition of the game. I'm not that kind of person. I'm sorry. I don't know it. They made like, 500,000 units of these and they sat in a warehouse and, someone found these in Colorado and then, they came on the market again. I'm not that person. They really went out to hobby shops around the country and were sold directly. And, man, that's really. I'm going to put a little more water on that bit because that just seems to need to loosen up a little. I'm glad to see, as I suspected, it's all pretty much surface, right? It's all stuck on there, but it's not like burnt into the surface or something. It's not like someone put out a cigarette on it. Poor thing. I mean, this edition of the game, I get it, is, oh, failing eyeballs. I'm sorry if I have to pick this up for a moment. Yeah, I don't want to be too aggressive cleaning it. This is a dry side. Let's do the general while this is still kind of warm. Yeah, what Go was saying, this copy of the game, box 5, right, is practically its own game in many ways. If you wanted to play Immortal level adventures, they have actually functionally very little to do with the gameplay of everything you did before. It's wild. It's radically different. I haven't really played much of this. I mean, I certainly rolled characters and did stuff with the set I owned, and I found it valuable, and I have fond memories of it. Part of what was part of what I found valuable is it basically reframes the entire Mystara setting. It reframes your entire campaign setting, and you have this massive behind the curtain thing to work with as a dungeon master. This is really for dungeon masters. Really. You can play an Immortal level game. I don't see any reason to clean the inside. That seems okay. Yeah. Just kind of, yeah. It is a little damaged there. It is a little damaged there underneath all that gunk. But, you know what? It's better without the black mark. Um, mm-hmm. Definitely a bit of scrape in it, but it's not like a burn. And, you know, it's a shame this box had to come to me in such a sad shape, but I didn't want to pay through the nose for a copy, and I got tired of waiting for like, I don't know if that's going to come up. I think that might actually be something kind of marked into the box over here. Yeah, I think that one's going to have to stay. Okay. But it's not, you couldn't see it, but it's nice to touch this box and not just feel grit under your fingers. So I'm going to put that one aside, and we're going to hit the back with the wet cloth while we can. Just give it a clean. This is just slightly damp. Really, it's dry enough in my room. It's drying out and practically immediately. But nothing like a little bit of moisture to help clear dirt off of something. I'm not using any chemicals. Other than, well, I mean, the dihydrogen oxide, the usual water, right? And it's slightly warm at this point. This does not keep that much warmth. Little bit of, dripply water damage here. Usual kind of scuffing, etc. Just see if we can't. Anyhow, I thought you might appreciate me kind of just talking about this for a moment, because it's, again, all these videos is about my passion for this product line, I guess. Game system, all the memories and nostalgia I had. And honestly, my high school friends didn't really play Dungeons and Dragons. My grade school friends played Dungeons and Dragons with me. But I never gave up on Dungeons and Dragons. And in fact, the Gazetteer line was actually quite popular with my friend Jim, and he used it for his main setting. That was the game I got to play in instead of being forever DM, and he got to play in my games instead of being forever DM. It is, important to me. And yeah, we're going to have to try to kind of, these are bigger than a regular book, so I can kind of crush this back into shape potentially with some books. And that will improve the look of the box on the shelf. And there's no major structural failing here. There's a tear here, right? Right here. There's a small tear, right? We'll try to fit that back together. Maybe give it a little bit of Elmer's to just kind of make sure it stays. Some form of, white glue, because what is paper but basically wood, right? And again, we'll try to crush this back into shape. In fact, I think there is just a little bit of something on the inside of this one. So let's see if we can't just wipe that away, right? Yeah. Yeah, see? Yeah. Yeah. Wipe away all their fears. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cleaner. Cleaner at least, right? Really, really glad to have gotten this. And yeah, there we go. Put that over here in there for now. Just take these out for a moment. You can see, right? Here we have the Player's Guide to Immortals. Any number of players ages 14 and up. The inside, nice and clean, right? Nice and clean. Very, very nice set of books. Yeah, there's a lot of world building and like multiplanar and just reference materials in here that is highly useful to a dedicated DM, especially for this setting. You can make your own immortals, which are functionally the gods of the setting, and certainly full artifact creation rules. You find a lot of that in the master set as well, but like a lot of artifacts come from immortals as opposed to players. So the full rules are here. It's also a monk class in here. And I guess you could backwards that into a campaign if you wanted to. But that's all I'm going to do on screen here, really. The rest of the restoration is going to be a matter of me just kind of crushing the box back into shape and, you know, trying to undo the weight of whatever was basically pressing down on this box from the top and potentially from underneath, right? Because you can see here, it also wasn't supported evenly into this corner, right? And yeah, I mean, this kind of thing happens. Even on my this, see, like here's the red box you've seen a bunch of times. Bit of crushing in here, just a bit of denting. You can see the crunch in the corner there. You can see that the back is in fairly good shape with a little bit of crunch over here, right? And that kind of thing happens to these things very, very easily. But, yeah, see, it is a bit messed up here. And I want to say the black mark was worse. But I could have hoped that would come out better. That's a bit of a shame. Looks worse actually at this angle in the camera, I think, than it does in real life, which is very interesting. But there we go. Thank you very much for being here and for spending a moment with me. I know this isn't everybody's cup of tea. Most people will never play these rules or do anything with them, honestly. Although I do recommend, if you are a interested DM, to get a PDF copy of this information for your own edification. It can be quite informative and transformative to your campaign, honestly. But it's by no means essential or even that important to regular gameplay. I just feel like it changes the meaning behind things in some ways. It creates a master clockwork that you can create behind the scenes of everything. And that I find compelling. Thank you very much for your attention today, and I hope you have a great night. Again, if you like my content, a like and subscribe or a comment is very much appreciated, but by no means required. Have a great day. Goodbye.